What is going on? What is going on, y'all? Let me go ahead and stop this. All right. What's good? Welcome back to Sips and Sniffs. Hey, there we go. All right. I was wondering what was going on with my microphone and my video. But what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing, man? I'm so glad y'all can make it back here. All right. Let me get it there. There we go. There goes the microphone. There goes All right. But what's good, man? Glad y'all were able to come back. Today, as many of you saw, we have a thumbnail. We are going to get to know one of the more poised, one of the more informed, and a very experienced reviewer on our hands that's been a part of our community for quite some time. I know at one point he was in the chats heckling me, trying to get me to get time to get him up here. And I kept telling him, within due time, man, had some other things planned and whatnot. But trust me, was not excited to get up here and share some time. And after breaking down a couple of conversations, being able to talk to him for a minute, man, look forward to doing a few things with him on the show. But yeah, man, it's just been good trying to build the community, especially in light of everything else that's going on. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. I'm going to do my little sermon, my little Sunday sermon over it. But yeah, it's been so much in the community to break people down, so much in this world to break people down from what the government's doing politically, everything else. And, it's always good to get on here with Fragrance family, those who share the same loves and hobbies that you do. And it's always good for me. For me, one of the favorite parts of being out here on YouTube and everywhere else is being able to build a community. I've talked about community over the years and whatnot and what it means to me. But, I think some of us still need a reminder of what it is here and there. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow and going from there. But today, we are here to have a conversation, to have a little interview with our guy, Scent Bubble. All right. SB, as many of you know him. All right. We got connected by way of our guy, Kix Griffey. All right. He's had many appearances on his show and vice versa. Kix has been on his, and several people have been talking to him over the years and whatnot. And I have always chatted with him in the chat and whatnot. There was a long-standing joke where people used to call him Mr. One for One. And even with those jokes and whatnot, he's always been a good guy, good character. And I've admired him for his stance on perfumes, and his growth has been great recently. And I admire it because he's been sticking to what he does best. So with no further ado, let me go ahead and get the man of the hour up here because we are running short on time. I know he's got stuff to do. I got stuff to do. It's Saturday before Mother's Day. I hope y'all all got all your shopping out of the way. Let's go ahead and bring them up with no further ado. SB, what's good? Oh, what's good, my guy?
What is going on, brother? How you doing?
Not much, man. I'm doing good, man. Just been busy as I don't know what.
Ditto.
How's everything been with you leading into this Mother's Day, man? I know you got your hands full for tomorrow.
Hectic. Yeah, I got two boys. Wifey's running around with them today trying to hold it down. I threw my back out this morning, so I had to call an audible and go get adjusted. And got my mom lives, 10 miles down the road. My whole family lives if you go on the same street every 10 miles, you'll run into one member of my family. So I got Mother's Day twice right around the corner. And, just trying to get everything set up. We're doing some family time tomorrow.
No, for sure. I definitely get it, man. But yeah, just wanted to bring you up here and have a conversation, do my community conversation where we get to know the interviewers. Those are a big part of our community, Did want to take a minute to address the chat, wanted to say what's going on to Lokesh. All right. Yadav. All right. My guy, the Procure, said what's going on. Let's go. Happy Mother's Day. Scent of the day is Ministry of Scents, Bull's Blood. All right. Of course, Mr. Clark showing love. All right. Lokesh telling us he's from India, man. We are from the U.S. I'm from Texas, and SB is out of,
Arizona.
you better believe it. All right. Yes, Beauty of Scent. What's going on? What it do, man? How do you feel? We're gonna get to that at a later time, man. We're gonna get to all that at a later time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I would love to do like SB does. SB is a magician. He is good at what he does, man. I won't lie to you. For you to get up there and go through that chat on YouTube like so many people do on TikTok, hey, I admire you for that. My hat goes off to you. I don't have the patience or the stamina to do so, especially for the lengths of time that you be doing it. And shout out to you, brother. But
Oh, you're talking about the lives.
oh yeah, I'm talking about the lives. I'm talking about the vertical lives where you just go straight down the comments and just be answering questions. I ain't got it in me. I
Yeah.
ain't got it in me.
Unless you want to be bald like me, don't do it.
I'm not, man. What we do out here is we build community one conversation at a time. Hell, sometimes one argument at a time, depending on who it is I got up here. But
Always.
Speaking of arguments, shout out to World, my guy.
Me and World just had an argument 2 days ago.
Hey man, look. I have called him the antagonist of the community, and he wears that cape well. As a matter of fact, he sent me a picture of himself as a superhero. So I know he's eating it up right now, man. Rock Boy, what's good, man? World said, "Center of the day is Wild Child Family Farms, Blue Magic." All right, that's the house that I got to get that discovery set of. All right, look at you popping in here, yo, 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 Mr. Flappy, what's going on, man? All right, Dutch in here as well, man. Shout out to everybody who came in. Of course, Kix Griffey, and of course, the lovely Jules. Jewels. Anyway, we're gonna speed that up. And Mr. Gumbo, man, what's going on? But hey, you already know what we're here for. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and start it off the way I've begun starting it off for the New Year's. Appreciate that, Mr. Gumbo, man. Hey, you already know what we're doing, man. We got to build community. We're trying to focus on the positive, but we can address the negative at a later date. Today, our focus is on Scent Bubble, the reviewer, man. And as you know, we're going to go ahead and do the icebreaker. SB, I hope you're ready to answer these questions as quickly as possible.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Typically, I tell people, you got 90 seconds, but we're just going to go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty. Let's go ahead and get all these answers. All right.
Fire away.
Let's go. All right. What is your favorite fragrance as of now?
I don't have one, but my political answer is Coromandel Chanel.
All right. Favorite car?
A Supra from the 90s.
Fast and Furious. I got you. Okay. All right. Favorite band?
I look at that from a hip hop standpoint, so I'm gonna say Hieroglyphics.
Okay. All right. Favorite song?
Something from Sade.
Ooh, that boy's smooth. Favorite memory?
Being with my mom, my mom was a single mom raising us, so anything with my mom when I was a kid after school.
Okay, that'll do. Favorite city to visit?
Miami or LA.
All right. Let me see here. Favorite fragrance note?
Vetiver.
Of course. Favorite fragrance accord?
Oh. Petrichor.
Yeah. Okay. A little rain. Okay. A little rainy day on there. All right. Let me see. Favorite shoe brand?
Puma.
All right. All right. A little hip hop shoe. All right. All right. Favorite sport?
Basketball.
Favorite sport team? Pro, college, it don't matter.
Man, that's a tough one, actually.
Oh yeah.
I want to plead the fifth.
No, we'll come back to it.
We'll come back.
We'll come back to it. All right. Favorite sports player?
Oh, I hate to say it, man. Recently, Curry.
Okay. All right. That's all right. And one memorable piece of advice a person gave to you in your past.
Um, mm, uh, Live like there's no tomorrow.
All right, Mr. YOLO. All right. And let's get back to it. All right. Favorite sport team.
Mm, I'm gonna just keep it real. Suns.
All right. All right. Hey, some of us, we hometown heroes, whether they win it or losing. I get it. I'm a Mavs fan, and they are trash right now. But you know, it
I
is
said
what
I
it is.
had to keep it real.
Hey, that's all we ask. That's all we ask of you. It's Tony. I was about to sing it, but you know what? We're gonna let it go. All right. But yeah, man. So that'll do it for our icebreaker session, man. Hey, SB, you know what we're here for, man. Look, every time I get someone up here and I do a little interview and whatnot, it's always about introducing you to the community or to my cul-de-sac of the community, however you want to put it, right? To my particular household. All right. Now, we all got our own community, right? But when you put them together, I'd like to think that we all form households of the cul-de-sac, right? So
Facts.
for those who follow me or those who like my content, watch my content, that really don't know about you, introduce yourself, man.
How much time we got, James?
We got an hour and a half, baby. We got time.
Okay. I'm gonna be concise, and if you want to press me with some more questions into a pocket, we can go there. How's that?
Okay. All right, that's a bit.
Cool. So my name is SB, as you guys know me. And part of some of the things that I do is a lot of people in the fragrance community don't know the other stuff that I do because I'm very pocketed with the things that I do. And when I came into the fragrance space, I really wanted to be in the fragrance space and didn't want to kind of grandfather in other communities at first, so I could really get as authentic of an experience as possible. So maybe we'll touch later in the introduction as to some of the other things that I do. But for now, as it relates to fragrance, coming up as a young kid, I had a very limited experience with fragrance. I always tell people I wore like the same 5 fragrances for about 15 years. Growing up, fragrances that I just remember seeing. I remember my mom taking me to the 99 cent store and seeing Jordashes and Cool Waters. They might have been knockoffs, I don't know back then, but that was a introduction into fragrances. The Curves,
Yes,
maybe
sir.
some older stuff like the Stetsons and whatnot. The stuff that I actually wound up picking up is probably started somewhere around Curve, and then quickly moved into some of my fragrances as I moved into middle school, high
Well,
school.
SB, hold on one second, my brother.
Please.
What I was asking for is tell them about you. We're gonna get.
Not
you
the
all to
fragrance
your
story,
journey.
just me. Okay, then
Yes,
we'll
not
reverse it.
just you. Yes,
Oh,
just
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Okay, that makes things clearer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so reverse that. Anyways, so my name is SB. I'm 37. I got 2 kids and a wife. I'm out in Arizona. I was born in Chicago. As a young guy, I lived pretty much in every state in America, at least 30 plus, moved around a lot. Growing up, I was a basketball player. I was a quarterback, ran track. So I'm very much into athletics. But what was kind of weird about me is I did other weird stuff. Like I did speech and debate. I hung out with all kinds of different groups of people. I skateboarded. I was a sponsored skateboarder as a young kid. Deeply entrenched into hip hop culture. I used to rap, beatbox, sell mixtapes out the trunk as a kid. So I was very much a hip hop head, doing hip hop stuff, and I played sports and did other intellectual hobbies. Went to school at both ASU and University of Arizona. So, I was deeply in the school culture, went to school and got a degree in art studies. So my background is in multimedia art, both teaching it and as a practice. So I graduated with a double major in art studies, and then I taught for a little while, then got my master's degree in secondary ed. So I taught at the high school level, after I got my master's degree.
Okay.
And on the side, ever since I was a teenager, I was a rapper, trying to be a rapper.
All
So
right.
I did that for a very long time. And probably after I got out of college, saw that I wasn't going where I wanted it to go. It was really just a glorified hobby. Met a lot of cool people, got a lot of cool opportunities, but it wasn't really paying the bills. So I got a 9 to 5 and went into the field of finance, and went into the family business, managing a financial firm. And in the background, though, I went and completed some programs for audio engineering. So about 15 years ago, I began engineering music for artists all around the world, and that stuff took off way more than my, musician career as a solo artist. And so that kind of kept me into music. And so 15 years later, still doing that. Done thousands of records as an audio engineer. Still do my music stuff as a hobby, but yeah. And then I'm a family man. When I was in my late 20s, had my first son Miles, had my second son Caden about 2 years ago, which really he's responsible for me getting into fragrances as a content creator. And yeah, married to a beautiful wife. We've been married for 16 years. So now at 37, I'm Big Unk to a lot of folks around here.
Big.
But yeah, man. So there's a little bit about me. You got any other questions for that?
No, man. I mean, let me go ahead and do the rundown according to me. All right. So you started off wanting to be Lupe Fiasco. Okay.
100%.
Little kick push out there in the streets and whatnot. But you still hooped a little bit, so you kept to the court here and there. All right.
Yep. Played
And then
basketball all the way to college.
yeah, got to college, finished up strong. Decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and try something. No, man. Hey, that's a great breakdown. And honestly, I love it because it's a lot like me. Honestly, grew up skateboarding too, hooped. You know what I'm saying? Had opportunities, didn't take them. Weren't real opportunities. Everybody give you a chance to walk on. Hell, until you find out what you're walking into.
Yep. Yeah.
Then you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. At 37, if you aren't, then damn, I guess that secures me in the unk position. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think being a teacher moved me there quicker than most because I'm around teenagers all day. So they're quick to call me Unk.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what's so funny? So a lot of them in my area that know me or know of me or whatnot, they don't call me Unk, but I guess nowadays calling someone coach and Unk are almost, you know what I'm saying? Almost like saying school nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Even the kids that I never taught, their little brothers are like, coach, coach. And it's like, okay, all right, I get it. I get it then.
I accept it.
For sure, man. But yeah, no, but that's a hell of a path. That's a hell of a journey to say you've only had 37 years of living,
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I lived it hard, man. I would say like one thing just about me as a person is I like exploration. So even though I had certain things I was talented at and things that I got pushed into as a kid, as I got older, I just found myself fascinated with learning and trying things. I wasn't the type of person to take one thing and master it. I liked working on 15 to 20 different things, and I might not be good for 20, 30 years, but I'm gonna get there. And as long as I have joy doing it, that's what fulfills me.
welcome to the club, SB. They call us Jack of all trades or Jack of multiple trades. And I love the journey. I'll be honest with you. I get it, man. I get it. But the master's degree was definitely an accomplishment and everything. So I mean, you're still very learned, and that's one thing I respect. I respect your acumen. I respect how you go about doing things on your platform as far as research, getting information. So it all plays a part in who you are as a fragrance reviewer is what I've noticed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And how well rounded you can be in your area or in your niche lane that you built for yourself. So definitely shout out to you for that. And yeah, man. All right, let's go ahead and get to the history. So you gave us a brief explanation, but you know what? Go ahead and I guess in a more summed up way, Shine off. Where did you begin? What was your first memory, first experience with fragrance? I know you say you came up from the curve and everything, but what was it like when you were first introduced to fragrances as a young kid?
Yeah. And I guess like a lot of today will be, walking down some lanes that I haven't like sat with and reflected on a lot. But I just remember as a kid, um, fragrances were a thing that your uncle or your grandpa or an older gentleman had. It
Yes.
wasn't like a big culture. It was just, something smooth that older folk did. And signature scents were signature scents. Everybody wore one or two things a lot. Um,
Yes.
and I even thought about this in terms of scent memories too, because like there's just certain smells growing up that just triggered certain things for you, like your grandma cookouts and things like that, like just very fragrant atmosphere. But yeah, so I saw older gentlemen wearing fragrance. Now I didn't have my pops with me in the household growing up, so I would say like seeing father figures rocking a fragrance, it wasn't really something that they would brag about, like, I wear this. You'd always be like, what are you wearing? Or you might see a bottle on the shelf. But so yeah, that was how I saw fragrance. Kids my age and people around me weren't really rocking fragrance. That was more like a beauty product thing, like
Yeah.
deodorants, sprays, and different things like that. I also remember the magazines, getting uh beauty magazines that my mom would get, and
Yes,
seeing
sir.
scratch and sniffs and samples
Uh-huh.
in the magazine was real heavy. So that was like the start of it. And then I would say I didn't really start getting into like bottles and stuff till about my late middle school into high school. And that's where I started actually getting stuff for myself.
Okay. And let me ask you this. So, what was the first fragrance that was gifted to you? That's what I want to know. What was the first one that you recall gifted? And when I say gifted, there's always going to be. We all have aunts and uncles that give us the little
Hmm.
bitty bottles back in the day. Because you're around my age. I remember when you used to get those little discovery groups with the decants or with the dappers and
Hmm.
whatnot,
Hmm.
polo and everything. What was the first one that you remember that you actually liked?
The first time I remember getting a fragrance, and I don't know if it was the first, but definitely the one I remember the most is I remember I used to go to skate rinks and do sock hops on the weekend.
Okay.
So my mom used to have like 3, 4 jobs at a time, and she would shuffle a couple. And one of her jobs at a point was I used to go skating at this skate rink, and I got so many friends, and then the parents start meeting, and my mom needed to pick up another job at some point, so she worked at the skating rink. And so there was a point where I was going to the skating rink 3, 4 days a week. And, seeing girls and mingling, that was like my first kind of high school scene type of place, because you get people from all ages connected by skating. And
Right.
so I have a vivid memory of, having a sock hop, which is, for those of y'all who don't know, that's where you go skating at night, and it goes, like a 7 to 7 type of thing,
Ah, that overnight.
the
Yeah, that
overnight thing at the
midnight.
skate rink.
Yeah, man.
And we used to do what's called rhythm skating. So rhythm skating is you'd have a 3 to 5 member crew, sometimes 10, 15 deep, and you would do coordinated, skating on, to different tracks, and you would battle other crews. So people from different skating rinks would come by with the spray painted shirts, with the graffiti shirts you used to get at the mall. And
SB, where was this?
well, this memory comes from Arizona, but we used to do skating rinks in Texas even, because my step pops was from Houston. So I definitely remember skating in Cali, Texas, and Arizona.
Well, let me find out. SB was out there as a backup on roll bounce. You know what I'm saying?
We were roll bounce before roll bounce.
Shoot, let me find out, man. You know what I'm saying, boy? Hey, because it's still a huge thing in parts of Atlanta. Down here, we don't really we skate, but not that whole group thing. But yeah, man, that's what's up. So you were into the skating and whatnot, and man, hey, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
Oh.
get back. Yeah, please.
All good. Yeah. So we used to have, rhythm crews and stuff like that. And so we would try to get fresh and paint our skates and wear different matching outfits and stuff. And I remember a sock hop was coming up. And so one of my first like vivid fragrance memories was my mom took me to the mall and got me Aqua de Joe Eau de Toilette. So that fragrance right there was a centerpiece for me as a kid because I rocked at least 2-3 bottles of that. Yes, the real Frost.
This was by far the king of kings. They give Creed the title now, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I would love to look at the number of sales and put my money on the fact that this right here sold more bottles than Creed Aventus.
Oh, it had to. It had to.
This was the king of kings for over a decade. I mean, for a long time.
And it was one of the fragrances that I first saw that people got multiple bottles of in jumbo bottles, and you know what I mean? So I don't know where it stands with Creed Aventus at its price point, but I mean, I definitely Aqua de Joe, I've seen people buy multiple bottles throughout centuries. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
so I imagine just in the re-up side of it, like it had to at least compete.
Yeah, man, definitely, definitely. But I know you was out there smelling fresh, citrusy fresh, boy.
Yeah, and that marine aquatic, dude, that was a different high for me as a kid. I was just like, whoa, it just puts you in a mode fast. So any excuse I had to put that on. I remember she got that for me, and that was one of the best nights of my life is pulling up in some Aqua de Joe as a almost teenager, skating with because since I was a rhythm skater, a lot of the pop and crews were already teenagers and early 20s. So for me to be able to be in a crew as the young guy and smell fresh, like I just thought the world of that, So that was a fragrance that easily captivated me and was gifted to me by my mom.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. This still is a staple. I mean, honestly, I still go out there and buy this. The EDT. It still it doesn't work like it used to, but it still is very useful. All right. This is a Swiss Army knife. I mean, especially out here in Texas, out there in Arizona, shit, as hot as it gets, this right here is just an easy reach. If you're on the go, just grab it and put it in your pocket, man.
It's so versatile.
6 hours, it don't matter. It's so good too. It's so good. It's still a classic.
Yeah.
Still a classic. So I got you on that. All right. So those cover the early years. So SB, come on. High school. What was the first fragrance you actually purchased with your own money? And reason why I asked that is because, when you walking around with that paycheck, some of us splurge, but when we get to accessories and whatnot, we typically like to buy that one thing that has eluded us for years because, you ask your mom and she's like, got anything on it? Or she asks you, what'd you do with all your money? Why don't you get it? Or where's your allowance? So I want to know, what is the first fragrance that you bought with your own money?
It had to be either Gucci Pour Homme or Marc Jacobs for Men, the EDT, the original Pour Homme.
Oh, wow. And why is that?
Being at the mall, one thing I used to do as a kid is I used to, I did a short on this earlier, just how your parents used to let you leave the house all day and go anywhere you wanted when I was a kid, and that's gone now. So one of the things I used to do in the early to late 90s actually was I used to hop on the bus, scrape some money together, and go to the mall. And when I went to the mall, we go shoot hoops at the basketball spot and try to convince someone you knew to get you some Chinese food, sneak into a movie. We used to sneak into movies all day long, jump in the game works and try to play at the arcade.
It was normal to break the law. And I don't condone it. Okay. But it was normal. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't buy a ticket and go sneak into another movie, bro, I don't know what you was doing back in the day.
I'll never forget, like, my skate crew is who I hung out with outside of skating. And I'll never forget, we went into a mall one time and he goes, I remember saying, what are we going to do in here? And he goes, hey, man, we're going to watch movies. We're going to play games. We're going to get food. I'm like, how? And they're like, we're just going to walk in. And I I'll never forget, like, just sitting outside the movies. He's like, okay, so you're gonna go to the exit and just walk in. They ain't gonna know. And I remember that I was so intimidated by that scenario. But fast forward into that, we would go in and literally watch movies all day and just jump in and
Yeah,
out of movies. And
bro.
but yeah, the Virgin Megastore, huge memory, going in there and listening to all the CDs that were out on display that for albums that were coming out. That was like
Blockbuster
huge.
Music when they finally did it. Yes,
Yeah.
SB, you my kind of people, man. Hey, real quick, shout out to Morgan and Pesonavante, all right, who are in the chat. Obviously, they are some loyal followers of yours, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta ask, SB, are these people from your gang? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
SB, you was in there with a group of people making us look bad as black people.
hey, I put the bat signal out before the stream, so people got to be, they came, they answered the call.
Hey, for sure. SB out here looking like a thug with blades, rollerblades, that is. All right. But you know what I'm saying? Okay, SB. So when you wasn't in the streets, you was in the movie theaters. All right.
Yeah, yeah. And we went to, trying fragrances was a part of that. Going into the mall and just trying all the fragrances was awesome. You know what I mean? And so I remember just smelling fragrances a lot. And I even bought my own bottle of Aqua de Joe. But yeah, those are probably the three that really stand out to me early on. Is I know I bought an Aqua de Gio backup because I was running through that like water. And then Gucci Pour Homme, and then the original Marc Jacobs for Men, which in Arizona, buying a fall winter fragrance, seasons were not a thing in my repertoire. So I was still rocking it on date nights. And that's the one bottle from my childhood, aside from Versace Dreamer, which I actually didn't wear, but I took it from somebody as a kid and just hit it. But
Yeah.
Marc Jacobs for Men is one that I still have at least 20 ml of, and I still love it.
Yeah, all right. Well, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I have not, or if I have, I do not recall it. That's one of the things I give a lot of people credit for. If you've smelt as many fragrances as I have or more, and you still remember what they smell like individually without owning them, shout out to you. Much love to you. Your scent memory is way stronger than mine because hell, I forget what stuff in my collection that I wore last week smelled like. To be honest with you, that's crazy.
True. Yeah, and I was just gonna say also, that fragrance is kind of like, to me, the genesis into kind of the declaration / Cedrat Boisé-ish style that we see today. And so it was just like a comforting, I don't want to say sensual, but it was just a great date night fragrance, cozy, warm. As a EDT, it just projected and lasted forever. Back when you got EDTs with some performance. Same with Aqua de Joe. I felt like that thing lasted forever. So those, and again, I wore the same like 5 fragrances from that point for like 15 years. And those 3 were a part of that.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's nice. That's nice. All right. So that was your first one. All right. So answer me this. While you were in college, man, because look, college is a whole nother mindset. What we did in high school, what we did in middle school and whatnot, a lot of that was it tended to be a little younger minded. So once you got to college, you know what I'm saying, whether you were trying to get the ladies or whether the ladies were on you or whatnot, what was it that had your attention as far as fragrance to wear? What was it that was a solid wear while you were in school?
It's interesting because I had more father figures in my life as a young kid. When I got into high school, into college, I really didn't have any father. The oldest person I might have rolled with or been around would have been around my age. And I was always mentally kind of outside of my age anyway. So I really didn't have any what I would call shepherding, which is why I think I rolled with the same 5 fragrances. But one thing I will say is a fragrance I remember rocking in college is I took more of a sporty approach when I got into college. I liked, I was an athlete. So we looked at shower gels and soaps and beauty products to kind of build up a scent. But I also remember wearing the red Lacoste with the apple. It was a crisp, sporty apple fragrance. And that thing got me crazy leverage. in college. And then I would still bring back the Marc Jacobs because that thing was a killer. The Aqua de Joe was a killer. But that was kind of when I started moving into beauty products, building up different remixes and lotions and oils and stuff like that.
Got you. Got you. Okay. All right. All right. Look, shout out to Vinny C. Every time I check the chat, man, this man, him, and so many others, this is why I love the Fragrance family in the chat, man. Talking about I was about to sing I Wanna Know.
Hey, speaking of which, man, at the Sock Hops, they used to do karaoke night. So I remember doing karaoke of Genuine. That was like Genuine was like an idol to me growing up in the R&B scene. The dance moves, the music, and I had waves back then. So I remember sitting there with the two-tone do-rags and the wave caps and the 360 and the Murrays, and I was going crazy on some waves and doing karaoke of Genuine and Joe and all these guys at the Sock Hops. So R&B culture was heavy in my upbringing.
Oh, you was over there pop locking?
The whole nine. I would take the skates off in a heartbeat.
Hey. My boy SB was over there. Tell me, do you want to go home with me? That's what's up, man. I ain't even gonna lie. All right, SB. All right. Hey, man. All right. So at that point, what was it that you can remember really being into? What was it that made those fragrances your choices during that time in your life? I guess that's what I would like to know. Because sometimes we just, when we're at a certain age or at a certain point in our life, in the year, in the month, hell, you just cling to certain things, certain feels, certain notes, certain vibes, whatever. What was it?
Yeah, I mean, that's like something I would kind of be processing live. But I mean, I think, if something smells good, that was the prerequisite. Do you smell good? But I think looking back, the reason I was drawn to like the Lacoste and the Aqua de Joe and even the Gucci and stuff was just being in Arizona. I fell into a good match because a lot of the stuff was citrus and crisp, refreshing type of scents. So I think maybe that's why I just love that stuff. I was playing sports in college. I was boxing. I was playing basketball. I was still playing football. I was lifting weights. So everything, even down to the deodorants, kind of had a citrus aromatic vibe. So I think maybe that might be why I connected with the type of scents that I did. But even, the Marc Jacobs was more of a spicy, sweet type of scent. So I don't know why that played in as just kind of something I made work, but I gravitated towards the sporty stuff, the stuff that would smell like something like an Axe product or an Old Spice product that you might get or something like that. Something green, fresh, aromatic, made you feel a little bit older than you were. That type of thing.
Okay. All right. That's a bit. Well, we'll go ahead and fast forward that. So, years later, after you kind of got everything together and whatnot, you met your wife.
Yeah. And I met her in college. So,
okay. Yeah. What was it that she liked? Did she ever fess that at that point in time there was one particular fragrance that she liked on you?
Yeah. So as far as my wife, she had a really limited fragrance experience too, from what I know. Like I remember one of the fragrances I seen her rocking was Juicy Couture, that type of stuff.
Okay.
But as far as my fragrance taste back then, I don't even think she really ever said like, I mean, I definitely got a like, you smell good or something like that, but we didn't really have deep fragrance discussion or anything like that, and if I didn't smell good, something was in the air that smelled good, that was one thing I definitely did as a college kid is like, if I had girls over or something like that, quick to light a candle, quick to maybe do an incense, have a lotion, something to make the air fragrant. But yeah, and even in terms of how I met my wife knew who I was since my freshman year of high school. So we went to the same high school, and I used to, like I said, I played sports. So I played basketball, ran track, played football, and I used to perform at the pep rallies. So I was a rapper back then, trying to make it. So every pep assembly, I would be performing my music and doing different stuff with the dance crews and stuff. And so she knew who I was. She was a grade down. I didn't know who she was until college. We met through mutual friends, like partying and stuff. And so we met about my sophomore into my junior year of college. And I was probably rocking about the same stuff back then, but I was quick to, like I said, light an incense, have a candle going, stuff be in the air, whatever you got to do, bro.
Yeah. Okay. I get it, man. But you said you was over there performing at the pep rallies and whatnot. I gotta ask, do you watch the show Abbott?
No, I don't.
Oh man, those who watch the show Abbott, put a 1 in the chat, man. I was gonna ask you if you watch that show. I was gonna ask you, were you doing performances like the guy named Tariq in there? If you get a second, I don't know if your wife or anybody you know does, but I want you to look up Tariq on Abbott. All right.
Okay.
He was doing remember that program that they used to have when we was in high school, the one with Dare? Remember?
Yeah. Yes. Drop
Yes,
everything and read. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Drop everything and read.
Hey, when you get a chance, I want you to go back and go, just I'm sure they got it somewhere on YouTube or whatever. Go back and watch Tariq on Abbott. All right. Hey, I just want to know if that was you. Hey, when you see it, you'll laugh. Trust me. You're gonna get a kick out of it. He was funny as heck. But all right, man. So that's a bet. So eventually, man, look, I'm gonna go ahead and get to the bear. So by then you were into fragrances. Even if you weren't as big as you are now, you knew that certain moments, certain events had fragrance, needed a fragrance. You know what I'm saying? Needed
Sure.
something in.
100%.
What was the fragrance you wore to your wedding?
Oh man. That's a good question, dude.
Hey, you know
I
I'm
think
gonna put them, baby.
I don't I want to say by that point in time I was still not a collector or anything like that. You know what? When I got married, my brother actually put a fragrance on me. And with the batch or not the bachelors, the groomsmen,
Yeah.
I remember being up in the groomsmen kind of meeting area and getting ready for it. And I remember my brother said, "Hey man, I want you to wear this." And I think it was a Dolce and Gabbana. It might have been like a Dolce and Gabbana Pour Homme or something like that. OG, because that's what he wore a lot back in the day. And I think he spritzed me with something he had, and it was probably Dolce and Gabbana Pour Homme because the bottle reminds me that might have been it. But
It's a
yeah.
classic, man. That dark blue cap with the silver bottom or the silver ring, whichever version you get, with the greenish. Oh, that was a beauty.
That's a great fragrance. And that wasn't really a part of, looking back, that was a part of my life because I'm talking about my adopted step brother. But back then, he wasn't my brother. He was my best friend. And oh, no. By the time I got married, no, he was my brother because I got adopted at like 22. So that was a few years later. But that fragrance was heavy a part of my life because Dolce and Gabbana Pour Homme was like his signature. So that was like a rite of passage or something, letting your old best friend, now your brother, hit you with his favorite fragrance. So I'm pretty sure that's what I wore on my wedding.
Okay. Nice, man. Hey, that's a hell of a scent. For real. That's a real gentleman's scent. All right. Plain citric, but kind of almost covers all ends. Like it has a little touch of chypre feel, a little touch of a fougere in a sense, but it's that like Aqua Digio EDT is simply just a well-crafted fragrance that can be used on multiple events, multiple incidents, multiple. Yeah, it's a Swiss Army knife. Let me just say that it's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
So I definitely get that. All right, so all right, cool. So hey, it's beautiful when I get people up here that have been married, or it's beautiful when I get the ones that don't. But it's beautiful when I get to see, what if there was any process into a particular fragrance. So you've got 2 kids, all right?
Yep.
and one of them, I know you're getting them ready. I know you're getting them ready because I've seen the video where he's come in your room. You know what I'm saying? I can tell. I can tell he's not just kind of daddy. You know what I'm saying? He's not kind of. Do I have permission to come in here? You know, he comes in there. He's comfortable in there. So I know you've been spritzing him with some stuff.
Yeah.
What do you, if any, what fragrance or fragrances were most memorable when you had your two sons?
Oh, so I have my two sons are 2 and 8.
Uh-huh.
Miles is 8, Caden is 2. I don't remember, because I got heavy into fragrance collecting about 5 years ago. So Miles would have been 2 or 3. Right when Miles was born, I was still kind of in wearing my normal 1-2, and it really wasn't that. I didn't have like a palette for fragrance. It's just a part of me, like my arm or something. I was still
Yeah.
rocking the same old stuff I'm rocking. When Caden got into the scene, which would have been 2 years ago, like I said, Caden really set it off, and so Caden would be actually. I mean, prior to that, I had been acquiring fragrances, but some of my most memorable ones around that time would have been like a lot of designers, Jimmy Choo Man Intense, YSL Loam, um, Sauvage,
Okay.
a lot of the basics. And at that point, I had those fragrances, but I guess I don't even remember that those were really some of my early purchases that kind of launched me into it. But by the time Caden hit the scene, that was during the time I started really buying a lot of frags.
Okay. Great, great, great. All right, so let's go ahead and get down to where we are right now, man. All right, so SB, they call you the professor and everything. So, when you get up there, I love how you kind of break down the history, sometimes break down the perfumer, break down the fragrance itself, man. But I got to ask you, so earlier I asked you what's your favorite fragrance note. All right, we're going to get into that in a good discussion.
Sure.
But, all right, your favorite accord is the Petrichor. All right. Why is that?
There's just something really dope about I refer to fragrances in terms of dimensions. Like, to me, a fragrance can be one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, four. And even though I don't have like a super concrete way I explain this, it's just like a concept that helps me think through scent. But I like when fragrances don't just smell, if that makes sense. Like, you can have a fragrance that smells like something, but then you can have a fragrance that is transportive. It takes you somewhere. You can smell space, like there's space between ingredients that you can make out, or that it takes you through a journey where certain stuff shows up and then it leaves and other stuff pops out. And so with Petrichor, I've always really loved like what I would call elemental scents, like scents
Mhm.
where you can smell the elements of the earth, air, sunshine, water, rocks, cold, hot. And the thing I really like about the Petrichor Accord as of recently in the last, like, I would say 2 years, is just like when you can make a scent smell damp, but extremely fresh. That's just like a concept in perfumery that's really intriguing to me, that is almost like a magic trick.
Yes.
So, I think of fragrances, Wet Stone, Amarud, Desert
Yes.
Rain,
Mhm.
scents that play with mint and spearmint, but they almost have like a wetness to it. Ganymede has a
Green
kind of,
Essence by Bulgari.
oh yeah, yeah,
That one,
absolutely.
yes.
Yeah, Cartier has a Declaration Hot something that kind of has a Wulong Cha-ish kind of green wetness to it.
Mm.
Lalique's Lin Sumi, it's a green outdoors, but it's like a wet dew. That's a kind of dimension to perfumery that's like wizardry to me, and I'm really fascinated by it. It's refreshing yet sophisticated. Like, the depth of it is like a head scratcher, but then how they get it to be really fresh is nice for where I live to have, sometimes to get a fresh fragrance in Arizona, you got to go with a typical citrus or something like that. And it's normally like lemon explosion, lime explosion, grapefruit explosion, tart, tons of synthetic push, but those refreshing scents that are more that concept of water and air, I gravitate towards most for Arizona because they kind of smell almost like a drink of water, with different infused ingredients. So I think that's why Petrichor is standing out to me a lot lately for sure.
Definitely. I wore that Desert Rain the other day, along with another one that I'm gonna have a conversation about from the House of Parfums du Ciel. But yeah, man, I simply love it. What's going on, everybody over there on Instagram? I think Tia just joined us. What's good, Tia? Hey, if y'all don't mind, come on over to YouTube, baby. Come on over to the YouTube channel so we can interact with the chat and the rest of the fragrance family. But but yeah, man, no, seriously. The Petrichord, I'm like you. When I first smelt it, especially when it was done well, it threw me for a loop to a point where it was like, I'm always asking how, why.
Right, right.
That's just the curious person in me, but that's also the thing that keeps me wanting to figure out more and more about this hobby, about perfumery, about the brands themselves. You know what I'm saying? So asking how was just like wanting to know how they put certain notes together was one that dragged me into appreciating the accord as well, man. For
Yeah,
real.
making accords is artwork. You know what I'm saying? That is like a painter with a brush and trying to build the idea of something with scent. And I'm sure that takes a long time to blend and get that however you want it to go. One fascinating thing that I found out about Petrichor is that in places like Europe and stuff in Asia, Petrichor is not a foreign concept. And that's one thing that threw me for a loop because my interest in it was rekindled by Michael doing Desert Rain, obviously. But from that point, I thought that that was like a new concept, the smell of rain. Even though I had smelled fragrances prior, hearing the word petrichor made me go look it up. And then I found out that there are companies and things like that that have been making petrichor even outside of fragrance as an accord for various products forever. So petrichor is not a new idea. And then that like threw me down a rabbit hole of like, well, what did they use it for if it wasn't for scent and different things like that? So it's a fascinating concept. Sometimes we look at perfumery and we think something's like a new concept and it's just remixed, so
Yeah.
that's cool too.
No, it's definitely cool, man. To be honest with you, I love figuring out where they how they come up with it, man. It's always intriguing to me, and it just adds a little more knowledge and a little more understanding, a better understanding for being able to break down the different fragrances. When you talk to people about them. So definitely, definitely, man, definitely. All right, so there we go with that, man. I definitely get that, man. So right now. SB, because I've said it again. It's always subject to change. What is your favorite brand, fragrance brand that you're
You know,
feeling
you
right
you
now?
know, you know the answer to that. Come on,
But
bro.
I'd rather you tell that.
uh, for anybody who doesn't live under a rock as it relates to me and my content, I'm not shy about the House of Lalique.
Yeah,
Um, I just I am delusionally obsessed with that brand. Um, their history as a company, their approach to scent, the packaging, the whole nine yards. And I say delusionally because I want to do a mini documentary on that house and really bring in the conversation of the glasswork and how that ties into the history of the brand for fragrance. But I love the fact of affordable luxury where you can afford to get into it and you don't have to make any kinds of sacrifices to feel sophisticated, luxurious, important, significant. And I just think that they've done a phenomenal job with that. I mean, I love that I can have a group of scents that are very diverse that I can tell you, hey, this is 20, 30 bucks. Go get it now. There's no limitation. And so I've just enjoyed my exploration of that group and kind of what set it off was I was really frustrated that in the fragrance community, if you search Lalique, you're just going to find a bunch of people talking about the Encre Noir series. And that to me is the worst 3 fragrances of the entire brand. Yet for
Okay, thank you, SB. You know what? Thank you. And, you know, it's not a shot at Lalique, but yes, Encre Noir is not that good. And you know, I've only smelled one fragrance outside of that. I'm sorry, I had to jump in like this.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
please, that's okay.
This is your interview, but man, the black and white, the one that it gets close enough to Parfums de Marly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't have that menthol kind of feel to it, that minty kind of, you know, that effervescent kind of feel to it. But as far as the rest of the components of the fragrance, it actually gets pretty close. And I always thought that one should have been talked about way more than the Encre Noirs were.
You know what happened is that a lot of the people who spoke about Lalique are vetiver lovers. And so from a vetiver standpoint, if you're somebody who just the concept of how many different ways can you make vetiver smell like something else, you know, that is to be celebrated. And looking, even going back to Lalique now in smelling those 3 fragrances, they're very niche of a niche concepts as fragrance DNAs, but nonetheless, there are almost every fragrance you would smell outside of those 3, you would be more intrigued by it from a mass appeal standpoint. And so that really pissed me off. I remember coming into the scene, I'm like, why is nobody talking about Lin Sumi? Why is nobody talking about white and black? Why is nobody talking about white? Why is nobody talking about indigo? Why is nobody talking about ombre noir? You know, a sexy cinnamon tobacco, fresh aromatic. Like there was just so much more greater, like infinitely greater sense that should have been talked about. And so that sparked my curiosity to like be gotta catch them all with that brand. And then hearing the glass history and how a lot of I just learned, it's like with Lalique, I learned something new every day. That's fascinating. I just got this recently, the Brioni EDP Essential.
The green one. Okay.
And I just saw on the bottom, what do you see there?
Lalique Beauty?
Lalique. So I learned something new about this house every day. Lalique acquired Brioni. So if you're a Brioni fan, you're a Lalique fan. They handled the distribution. They assigned the perfumers. They handle the marketing of the Brioni house or whatever. And that's really fascinating. And they resembled Lalique a lot because when I cracked open the bottle with their caps and the way the glass looked, it was very Lalique-ish to me anyway. So stuff like that's just fascinating to me, man. Lalique is like almost OG. They are embedded in fragrance culture in ways way more than just even they have transcended their fragrances in the fragrance community to me.
Okay. Let me ask you some. We got a question by Twizzy, you know. Twizzy asked, in buying a fragrance, which do you prefer, quality or notes? Did you hear me? Oh, okay.
No. That's a tough question. That's a really tough question because it's like it's presenting a concept to me that can't go together. Like, you're attracted to certain notes. So the question, I guess, if I was reversing that question in my mind, could I have a fragrance with notes that I didn't like, but because it had depth, I preferred it? No. So it's hard to answer that question. I don't think you can have a situation where you wouldn't not like the fragrance because one of those was missing. Like, would you prefer a fragrance that had more quality, even though it had notes you didn't like? No, I don't think.
Yeah, I guess maybe they need a little more detail in there. They probably
build a question off of that based off of what I said, and maybe we could circle back to it.
Yeah, for sure. Give us the full question that you want, Twizzy. All right, and we'll go ahead and answer it for real. That's it. Exactly, Ralph. I'll be trying to get the community to smell these luxury line. I don't know why I chose that to highlight. Anyway, this guy. Oh God. All right. So yeah, but no, Lalique is definitely one that only was really talked about for those three. Like I said, the black and white and a couple of others like that you highlighted. A couple of it's weird they don't talk about anything outside of that. And if you go in and you put in Lalique, aside from maybe a few people, the bulk of the videos that they're going to direct you to are literally regarding Encre Noir and the other two from the Encre Noir line. You know what I mean? Which is, yeah, I guess that is kind of shameful. You know, it really is.
It's almost like they did not lead with their best foot forward with people discussing that brand. And the fragrances, Encre Noir OG is kind of like a Andy Warhol in the fragrance space. It's this, people love to say, the fragrance of death, the graveyard soil fragrance. And it's almost become like a meme, because it's just something to talk about, but nobody has it on their shelf and is touting it as a great fragrance unless it's a vetiver lover or some guy who just acquired it.
True.
And it just those are the kind of polarizing scents where if I came into Lalique's house to smell fragrances and I started with Encre Noir, I would never buy a single fragrance from the brand ever again from that experience. And so that's what I don't like about it. Those aren't scents that you go into and they invite you into the brand unless you're, a nose up connoisseur guy and you've got palate and you like weird and you don't just wear scents because you need something for a date or the gym or something like that. And that's a very tiny part of the community. So why market with that? Why lead with that? But hopefully when it's all said and done, we'll set a new tone for the brand because they have so many fragrances outside of their main line. I've been acquiring vintage. I've been acquiring the women's Laliques so that people in my family can try them. And I've just had a really good time, man. Again, I don't think that this house is known for extreme amounts of depth, but they represent affordability, number one, and number two, fragrances that feel modern and feel super approachable, but don't sacrifice depth.
I got you. No, that's a good thing. And I do like that most about the few times I do hop in on your channel because I don't have a whole lot of time to do it right now with everything I've got going on. But when I am able to catch up, I love that you are touching on vintage fragrances and just stepping out of the usual, the norm. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who just simply reviews, but for those who find their lane, and that vintage lane is something that not very many people. I don't really know anybody that's really choosing to talk about vintage continuously. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well,
And
oh,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say one thing I like to I will constantly parrot this idea is that, you know, I'm not one of these people who's like, don't put me in a box. I'm going to redefine this or whatever. You can't control how people perceive you. So that it's a job you can never, you can never clock out of it. But one thing I will say is that, yes, I review fragrances and I review fragrances regularly and a lot. And that's a big part of what I do. But in my mind, conceptually, that is not what I'm doing. For me, I am on a fragrance journey and I am documenting my experience. And so, one of the reasons why I can go into vintage is because I discovered vintage. So, I'm going to talk about it. And that's always been my approach, is even to the point where sometimes you might be watching my review and think, that's not really a review. Well, I like to leave the door open for that because I'm just trying to tell you what I experienced when I interacted with the perfume so that you have some information to think about if it's something you want to approach. But seeing it as a documenting a journey has really freed me from feeling like there are only certain things I can talk about when it comes to perfume. I'm not, bound by a house or bound by an era or a time period or a hype. And then I think a big component of that is just access. I don't think a lot of people know what they have access to.
True.
They have their Sephoras, their Ultas, their common websites, and they don't know where anywhere else to look for fragrances. Or price might take you out of the conversation or something, but I've been blessed to have some incredible access to fragrances and people that I've met that have put me on to things when I'm sharing my journey with them. So really the community is responsible for me talking about stuff outside of the common stuff that people talk about, is because I interact and share my journey with a lot of people. And in doing that, have found that there are a big community of vintage lovers, artisanal material lovers, perfumers, and that pushes you down those. If here's another thing I just didn't want to leave out: the journey I make a priority over arriving at a collection. So that's another part of it too, is that because the journey is the most important to me and discovery, I willingly am excited to jump into these different curiosities that maybe people have heard of, but are more interested in getting the next bottle for an occasion that they're looking for it for. So it's not like a bash or anything. It's just the self-awareness of like, hey, dude, I'm fine making a discovery that I don't like because I discovered something and I learned something that might have pivoted me to something I really love. And in anything in life, especially the arts, if you want the journey to look like something fulfilling to you, it's a process of being self-aware, and it's a process of taking risks and doing things you wouldn't normally do to find things you wouldn't normally find.
No, that's a fact, man. And I love that stance. I love your stand on it, but I gotta intervene real quick with a statement. Shout out to my guy, Bo Dominic, man. What's going on, my boy? Bo Dominican. I said Bo Dominic, Bo Dominican. All right.
Close enough.
This guy right here, somebody please go to Bo's home and check on him because he is gathering up Dior Sauvage elixirs like infinity stones out there. Somebody please check on this man. I don't know what dastardly deed he is in the process of coming up with or doing, but y'all go check on him, all right? Because a man with that many bottles of Sauvage elixir is up to no good, all right? We might have to call the cops or the feds on him. Seriously.
Shout outs, Bo, man.
No, what's up, Bo? But yeah, man, shout out to Raph. He said, if you're a frag head, don't act like a fragrance influencer or reviewer. Break the mold and explore more than what's on TV, which is YouTube. And that's true. That's why, I always talk about the little cheapies. I always get in there because, people want to know what's affordable. But why would you not, if you're truly a fragrance enthusiast, why would you not want to touch base on some of the old? I thought about that. I was thinking about getting into that, just to get my nose on something, because you never know what you've forgotten until you smell what you forgot,
Yep.
And it's crazy because, I pulled this out, but you know how long it's been since I've worn this?
I've seen your collection. It's probably been a hot minute.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah. Almost
3 years. And there's so many to pour home, Dolce & Gabbana. I mean, there's so many that I want to get into. And you want to know something? SB, you, my friend, have got me want to go back and smell some of the older class. I know it may not get the vintage, the vintage formulas, but watching some of your content, I want to go back and smell some Lalique, some Davidoff. You know what I'm saying? I want to smell what the men of the 80s were wearing. You know what I'm saying? What were they smelling like?
Yeah.
Because we all know what our parents would smell like, maybe our grandparents, depending, right?
Yeah.
But as a whole, I always still have occasional questions on what was the smell in the streets back then,
Yeah. Yeah. You have a deep connection to your history and where you come from. And I know for a lot of people out there, thinking about vintage might be intimidating. Like, why would I ever be interested in old stuff? But I would equate it like this. Is there artwork in an art gallery that you still love to this day that's timeless to you? Yes. Like there's art, there's shoes, there's art pieces, there's clothing that is 30 to 50 years old that it just is timeless in your mind. It makes you forget about where and when it was made. So in the same way, perfumers made incredible compositions back then that have transcended time. And you would think there's only a couple, but there's hundreds And I can only speak to what I've experienced.
Yeah.
I've experienced a lot of, like, so much so it's shocking to me how much old stuff has it makes me think it could have been made yesterday, and I love it. Or I value it because it takes me back to that point in time. Maybe there's a scent memory or the art itself. But again, I like that about the journey. Not everybody likes that part of the journey.
No, it's, you know, I dare say that maybe your journey hasn't continued long enough for you, because I don't know anybody who's had a lengthy enough journey. Now, everybody's length is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take that as you may. All right. Keep your mind out the gutter, but everybody's length of journey is different. Okay.
Yes.
And truth be told, 2 years for me could be a lifetime, and it could be just no more than a minute or an hour to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, at some length of time, at some point in time in your journey, most people will come to the point where they're looking less towards what's to come, and they will be intrigued by what was in the past,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like if fragrance is one giant map, if you only discover the future, then that's all you're left with when you conquer that area, is to look back. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, there's so many fragrances in the world that I think there's room. And here's the other flip side, bro.
Uh-huh.
Let's just say in a perfect world, you've discovered everything, been there, done that with everything.
But yeah, I
My
got
my my next push to that season of life would be, did you really experience everything to the fullest?
see.
The same way we're talking about Dolce and Gabbana and Aqua de Joe. Even when I go back as an older man, I get a different experience. So I always tell people I've had a really short journey so far. Maybe in the last 5 years, that's short, guys. But one thing I will caution people is, like, don't assume my journey is I walked in your footsteps for my journey. When I tell you guys, and I this is why I drop 2 to 4 videos every single day for the last 2 years straight, is because, guys, I lived my fragrance journey in the last 5 years to the absolute fullest, as if I was making up for the last 15 that I was just enjoying 5 fragrances. And so if you just tune out the noise and really get in your journey and take it one day at a time, there's so much to experience, so much so that there's an abundance to be able to talk about something. And I'm not forcing it. Like, I didn't force myself to drop at this frequency. I do think there's a such thing as watering down by just trying to, I don't know, be famous or grow your YouTube channel or anything. No, like, I genuinely, and I hope that it's communicated on my channel by the type of content that I release, that genuinely I'm discovering stuff every day that I think to myself, if I don't turn the camera on, I don't know if somebody's going to discover this pocket. So again, that's back to the documentarian side of it, is like, I feel like I have to document these moments because my journey walks down some places not a lot of people walk down. And maybe that video gets them into that,
Yeah. True.
so there's a lot to be discovered. I think a lot of people arrive at places they're comfortable with. And so maybe your 5 years doesn't look like my 5 years. Maybe it looks like when I spent 15 years only wearing 5 fragrances. You can do a lot with your time,
Most definitely.
but there's still more to be explored. That's what I'm saying, is like, even doing, as somebody who's done it every single day from a review standpoint for 2 years, and then the 5 years of just collecting, I still feel like a guppy in the space. Like, I can just see in the distance, there's so much more to be explored.
And that's the beauty of it, man. And that's the vision. That is how you got to see things in order to keep them going. At whatever point that the future or the vision going away starts to fade, there needs to be a new approach. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be some reconfiguration of what your journey is all about at that point. You know what I'm saying? If you can no longer see what is to come, sometimes it's time to start a different path, but you don't necessarily have to switch the journey. Sometimes you just need to take a different path, and I definitely agree with you on that, man. That's beautiful. That's beautifully said. And I love it, for real. And shout out to you, man. Like I tell people, we all got to find our purpose in this community. You know, I think that is a big part of the problem too. And I think some people don't understand that your purpose can change.
Yeah.
Sometimes your purpose can be fulfilled or fulfilled enough, and at which time there may be another calling that you may find, something else that you can use your strengths, your gifts in, at which point you just continue your journey and just head down the other path. But yeah, SBA, great man. We talked about it, man. I plan on getting you in here because you are truly, at first I was like the professor, but I get it now. If you watch
I did not say that. Hey, hey, listen, guys, listen.
well, for real,
Every nickname that you have ever heard of me in this community was community given. I did not hint towards or self-declare any of this. So as crazy as it might have looked that some random dude jumped on the scene a year in and was started being called the professor, I have nothing to do with any of the titling of my name. I just make the content and I let the world decide what it is.
But it's beautiful because it goes hand in hand with your education, you know what I'm saying, with the knowledge that you provide in there. And definitely for the way that you break down your points of discussion, you know what I'm saying? I love it. Honestly, I do. I don't always have time to watch the whole video, you know what I'm saying, or stick around for the whole live. But for the parts I'm able to catch, I definitely like how you break things down, whether it be a little or a lot, even when you and Kicks did that whole what was it,
superhero sense.
Yeah, even then it was just like, okay, all right, I get it. He broke it down to a T, but it was definitely very explanative, and you can't walk away from a lot of your lives and your content and not understand what angle what you were trying to get across. And that is appreciated by me. But hey, with all that being said, man, we got 31 more minutes in here. SB, I don't want to have
Let's
to
fly. Let's fly
short. So as you all know, you are here at Sips and Sniffs, and we are now at the Scents and Sounds part of the interview. And so I asked my man SB to give me 3 fragrances and 3 songs. And you know what? With his background in music production and everything else, and being an ex-B-boy / rapper, you know what I'm saying? We got Arizona's own T.I. over here, T.I. once he let it go, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We gonna get his thoughts. My bad,
roll,
man.
bounce, and everything.
I'm trying to be too funny, but you know what?
hey, I love it. All
right, but we has be over here, man, and I asked you for three fragrances, 3 songs, man. Tell us about the first fragrance.
Tell me what it is on your end.
I know you choose the fragrance.
You took the same line because I didn't give you a particular order.
Right, you didn't. That's right. I tell you what, let's go ahead because I love this fragrance, even though it only lasts on me for about 3 or 4 hours at most. Acqua di Parma.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. So you just want me to describe the scent first?
Describe the scent and then go ahead and relate it to the song that you got me to download. Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna actually pull up that list for you and we connected that to Stone Soup, right?
You didn't tell me which ones it connected to.
Okay.
That's why I was gonna wait for you to give me, but yes.
Not a problem. So Acqua di Parma, man, I want to just take a deep breath to reset to this scent because it's a great scent, man. Acqua di Parma, and I don't want to be too teachy with this, but you guys, you know who I am. It just is how I do it. It's just a part of me. Acqua di Parma just does something with scents, coastal, citrus, fruits, aromatics, European, anything by water. It's transportive as a house. And in my experience with the house, it can be intimidating because if performance is a really important thing to you, which it is to most of us to some extent,
it can be hard to find your connection to the scent. You might connect to a scent, but hate how short-lived it is. You might find a great scent that you don't have a lot of utility for, but if you just take your time with that house and you're not willing to overspray or whatever you got to do to enjoy your scent or oil up and layer or whatever, you will arrive at scents that blow you away from this house, because the way they do it and the diversity in the lane that they drive in is incredible to me. You know, you get your nose on it. So to me, introducing this scent, Colonia Pura, is I love scents that smell like what you want fresh air to smell like.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you ever notice how you don't recognize scent until you go somewhere you never been or that you're not always at? So like, for instance, in my house right now, my house has a smell, but I don't know because I'm here all the time. I've been accustomed to it, right? But if somebody came to my house for the first time, they would get a certain experience of, oh, this is what this dude's house smells like, right? You know, like it's just an atmosphere, right? And so I love this scent because it smells like the freshest air with swag, and you're in the clouds. It's ozonic white clouds with sweetness and citrus hidden in the background singing to you. And so this scent to me is super clean, super bright, super pure, and just hits you with little hints of stuff. You know, it's not one of those scents where you spray it and you figure everything out in 10 seconds. Unless you have experience with certain scents like it, maybe you can kind of speed through it or whatever. But if you just slow down, it will make you feel, you know, just clean, happy, and it fits a lot of moments. The way I connect this fragrance to this song is, and in fact, I do want to say this. I didn't say this to you earlier, Gems, is that the first song we're going to do today is a song I executive produced and engineered. So this is one of my artists that I've done in the past. And this song is a very, like, I think of this fragrance as like sunshine and clouds, right? And so this song to me is a song that's about family and God, and the sonic energy of it is very happy and surreal and heavenly.
Okay.
And that's what I think about with this scent, is that every time, you know, it's a scent that I lightly connected to at first, but began to appreciate when people gave me feedback. Oh, you smell really fresh. Man, you smell super clean. Gosh, I love what you're wearing today. You know, women have taught me that simplicity can't be over assumed in perfumery. Like what you think smells good on you and what women like to smell on you can be two different things many times. And this scent taught me that for how simple of a scent it is, a lot of people, it's so easy on the nose to other people that it's made me appreciate it more. But that's the vibe that I get from it. And it's one scent that I really gravitated to from the house. I get pretty solid performance, but I have no problem reapplying this scent. And I connected it to this song. Number one, because I wanted to use a song that I did to have people connect to my musical background to see what I do, but also because this song reminds me of it's a ton of sonic energy wrapped behind a surreal heavenly bounce, and that connects me to that scent in that way. So yeah, the Acqua di Parma Colonia Pura, I think it's easy on the nose. A lot of you guys should try it. It's a staple to the brand for me.
Definitely is. All right. And we're going to go ahead and play this Bartholomew Jones. And I believe the song is called Stone Soup, yo. Check it out. And SB, you say you produced this?
I am the audio engineer of the entire piece. So I engineered everything you hear. And I'm also the executive producer. So I also produced the track as well.
All right. Make sure. Hey, I don't see one right now, but it's okay. You can still pop your collar. All right. You can still pop your collar. There you go. Hey, I see you.
It bounces back. It's got the elastic.
All right. Here we go. Yeah.
forever. We just need a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Hey, listen. All we need. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. No cap. I'm ghost. They bust back, but we toast. Must stack the go to rush back to the home. See, she on the Beretta, Amarettas on the ice, but they want Amarosas holding posters for the lights. Nah, I done my share of holding signs and picking lines, but now I'm trying to buy up all the land and pass it back to mine. And then tell my neighbor that I love him. He can cop a squat. If he need a pot, he can bubble up and get some sop and soup it in. You know we not stupid. They want me off of the pot, but I told them that the rock got the key in it, so I scooped it. Why rooted? I'm rooted in the scriptures of Yeshua, so I can Boaz when the tribe's ruthless. Jump in it, all on my own. 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 I jumped straight up in the situation. They told me to stop. I said I just talked to God. He told me go straight to the top. So I went to Tippy and I brought down all the gold for the people low on socks. You know they never had their souls. So we had to bubble up a little bit, cause the city been stuck in the back up in the city. They told me to stay there.
Hey, I like that. I like that, man. Hey, first off, beat was smooth. All right. The little drum, what was it? The snare and the bass. It was good, man. I ain't gonna lie. Now he caught me with one of the lyrics, man. When he said, "Before I have to be Boaz with my crew is ruthless," I said, "Oh, okay, a little biblical moment in there."
Hey, I thought you'd like that, man, with your Baptist background, bro. Pick that.
You know what? Just being educated and what's going on, being able to correctly, tie it in is always good, man. Always good. But I like that. He had a different, interesting voice. I can't put my finger on who he reminds me of with that particular sound and rap, but yeah, it's interesting though. Okay.
Memphis. He's from Memphis, and one dope thing about that artist is he runs a coffee brand called Coffee Black, and he educates people about the origins of coffee as it relates to Black history and Black folks tie to the history of coffee manufacturing and production. And so he's got one of the fastest growing coffee brands in the world. He's won several awards. I've got to audio engineer a documentary that the city of Memphis funded for him to go to Africa and learn about coffee roots. And so he's just a dope individual out of Memphis. He built a coffee business in the hood there and educates folks and teaches Black folk about coffee and their connection to it. And I just think that's super fly. So, and then as a musician, his whole family is musicians. So even down to the kids. So a lot of times the atmosphere in his music has his kids playing in the backyard, or his wife's harmonizing, or his friends are jumping in and out of it. So I thought it was a really dope song.
Definitely. It is. Definitely. Hey, once he caught the beat, it was on, man. Lyrically and everything. And shout out to Rav. He hit this on the head, man. That song right there captures how SB has a smooth vibe and a unique way of choosing his perfumes. True. There we go. Twizzy, thank you, man. Thank you. Devin the dude. Devin the freaking dude is who he reminded me of. Thank you, Twizzy. Thank you. I knew somebody was going to get it because I'm car stolen. I'm not holding. That's like, I swear that's who he sounds like, man.
Devin is amazing. I've been listening to Devin for like 20 years.
Yes. Devin the dude. There he goes. Chris Moravit. They know, man. Yes. That's who he reminds me of. Okay. All right. That's a bit, man. HBK said, who was that? That was Bartholomew Jones. Or I think Mondo called him Danny Jones.
No, it's I'll put it in
Danny Brown. Danny Brown.
Bartholomew Jones.
Okay, Bartholomew Jones. All right. The song is called Stone Soup. Yeah.
And that's a good friend of mine. I've done all his work. So if you go online, he has a lot of albums and music for you to listen to. been a part of all that.
That's a bit, man. That's a bit. All right. All right. So that's what you linked up with Colonia Pura. All right. Let's get to the second one, man. Your choice.
Okay.
I'm just the DJ. You tell me what to play, when to play.
Absolutely. So I'm into a lot of different type of music, and even with my background in engineering, I've come across a lot of different types of records. At my core growing up, I was a hip hop, soul, and R&B guy. And so I've always infused my influences from that even into the other genres. But as far as what I appreciate on my own, I love a lot of different music for a lot of different reasons. So when I picked the songs for today, I wanted to pick a totally just different types of records that would bring out different vibes that I've connected to. And I also wanted it to be family friendly. So if I was picking stuff I grew up on, it would be a whole lot of thugging and chugging on here. But so this song is awesome. It's by a band called City and Color. And the fragrance that I've chosen for you guys is Lorenzo Pizzaglia's Black Sea. And man, when you listen to this song, the song is about an artist being on the road and being on tour constantly. And it's a love song about, hey, I've done and seen it all, but I hope when I get back home, you're still there for me. And it talks about the tension of being in love with somebody, but following your dreams and hoping that by the time you get back, like, even though you're gone, that's the only person you still think about, and hoping when he comes back, she's not with another dude. A familiar love story concept, but the sonic of this track are very dramatic, epic. And when I hear the audio for this, I just think of dark blue skies, white and gray clouds with a moon cast over a dark blue ocean. And that to me really speaks to this fragrance. Black Sea is, to me, cold, murky, oceanic waters in the dead of night. There's a kind of just like dark beauty to it. It's mentholic. It's dark but fresh. It's got that classic Lorenzo Pizzaglia synthetic smack in the face that every Lorenzo Pizzaglia has. You know, so even this song is like, you know, the song represents kind of beauty in the drama. And so even the scent reminds me of that, because it's not the most clean and spacious scent. It really is a very murky scent to me. You know, it's a muddy dark blue with kind of this moon crest like freshness to it. And so even the scent is very kind of like, ooh, like, well, you know, you got to be a certain type of energy to enjoy this, because I don't think it's the most masterful handling of perfumery from a balance standpoint. But that's exactly why I like it. Like, if you like Bleu de Chanel, right? And the crisp, versatile nature of it, this is the dark, dirty blue version of it. So it's just a different type of personality and energy while still being of that family. But I love it. I love wearing it. You got to be super light on the trigger finger to me, but it just makes me think of a dark blue ocean at night. And that's the vibe I get.
All right. Let's see if we can relate to it, man. It's been a little while since I've worn it, but since I've had it on skin, but definitely looking forward to it. City and Colors. All right, coming home.
Down to Georgia, I've seen the streets in the West, I've driven down the 90. Well, hell, I've seen America's best. I've been through the Rockies, well, I've seen Saskatoon. I've driven down the Highway 1, just was hoping that I'd see you soon, 'cause I'm coming home. Well, I've never been to Alaska, but I can tell you this. I've been to Lincoln, Nebraska, and hell, you know it ain't worth shit. I've been through Nova Scotia, Sydney to Halifax, but I'll never take any pictures, 'cause I know I'll just be right back. 'Cause I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Coming home. Well, I've seen a palace in London, I've seen a castle in Wales, but I'd rather wake up beside you and breathe that old familiar.
Nice. I ain't gonna lie, man. He had me cracking up when he said, I've been to Lincoln, Nebraska. And he said, you know, it ain't shit. I said, oh my God. Hey, I'm like, yo, I like this guy already.
That's a song where genuinely, if you're on a road trip at night and you're by yourself and you're flying down the street, you got to get home. That is just a vibe, man. Let me tell you, that joint is nice.
It does. I agree with Raph. It does seem more like Chris Daughtry than John B. Twizzy. I think the John B was a stretch, but definitely some smooth vibes to it. But no, that's definitely Daughtry. Definitely a Daughtry vibe to it.
I'm a sucker for electric guitar as well. You know, just reverbed out electric guitar where it's kind of like jazz, where the instruments just are almost the lead vocal. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you hear that electric guitar, man, you think of that Lorenzo Pizzaglia immediately. But yeah, man.
Hey, Raph is on the roll right now. Definitely gives me the same feel of a sunset hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like cracking of, you know what I'm saying, where the lights going down, man, for real. Sitting out there chilling with your girl on the porch, or you're driving home to your girl. Man, I like this, man. Look. And of course, Kicks, there he is. That sounds like Jack's riding on a bike. Song of Anarchy. Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, man. I didn't watch the last season, but I saw every other season. Sons of Anarchy was a hell of a show, and I get it. I definitely feel that this would be appropriate. Dead on, Kicks. All right, man. All right, SB, got a few more minutes. Got about 10 more minutes till 7. So let's go ahead and get to the last one, man.
Okay. Last scent for me, man, is a home run. This is the first time I connected with a rose fragrance. I feel like with vetiver, with oud, you know, there's certain notes in perfumery where at first you think you don't like the note, and then you start exploring and you finally find your piece, right? You finally find the fragrance that's like, oh, it's not that I didn't like the note. I just don't like the hands that chef the note. And I didn't find the balance and stuff that speaks to me where I'm at. Rose was like that for me, especially rose ouds. But this is a whiskey rose, and it was just a rose that immediately when I smelled it, it was unapologetically rose, but it had a lot of stuff going on around it. I went to LA, met with Kicks along with a bunch of other brothers, and we went to a lot of different fragrance boutiques, and we went to the Scent Room, which had a lot of independent brands there. And so that was my first like in-person interaction with Nasamato as a house. And so I didn't buy much, but I remember, you know, because we're in LA getting fragrances. I ain't trying to spend no LA money on no boutique fragrance, but I had to walk away with this scent. And so one of them was Slow Explosions from Imaginary Authors. I was just really intrigued by that scent. But the one that spoke to me the most was Baranda from Nasamato. And I was just so drawn to that scent. It's just an intoxicating juice to me. It's unapologetically rose, but so much vibe, so much character and swag behind it. It's perfectly balanced unisex to me. On a woman, it'll smell womanly. On a man, it'll smell manly. You know, the person makes the fragrance with this in terms of, you know, being a complementary scent. But I just love it, man. It's highly signature. It's rose done differently. Alcohol scents with me, you know, with like a whiskey, tobacco, bourbon, you know, different stuff like that are kind of hit and miss with me for balance. This is just perfectly, the whiskey is just, it's just a finesse scent with a lot of just sillage growl. You know, it's like a fragrance you spray and a person appears. To me, it's just so much personality in a bottle. And the song I chose, I have a hard time pronouncing her name. It's pronounced Niamza, and the song's called Lonely Nights. I wanted to end on just a bouncy type of joint with a lot of mass appeal, a lot of sonic energy. This is a futuristic love song bounce where a girl is basically just talking about how much lonely nights suck. And it's just a call out to, you know, call some dude over and you know, get it popping. So it's a very dramatic, futuristic. It's got some like dubstep and chill step electronic energy behind, to me, like a traditional rap type of bounce. And it mirrors this scent. Like I just think of like it's like Dirty Beauty to me. Okay. It's like love's in the air, but love's in the air on like a rough edge, and the edginess for me in the scent is like the whiskey, the bite, the floral lift on it. You know, it's just it's sex in a bottle to me.
Okay, man. Hey, you have me at a couple of points, man. At first you said it was popping. I'm thinking Ludacris pee popping. You know what I'm saying? Then you said it's in the air. I'm thinking cheeks in the air. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, where are we going here, SB? You know what I'm saying?
It's a very radio friendly mass appeal bounce to that type of energy. And again, I wanted to just play stuff that maybe people haven't heard of that they can get into. So this is a dope track to me.
Nice.
A lot of sonic energy.
All right, here we go, y'all. And Nomza, right? Nomza, Lonely Nights.
Lonely nights could be spent better. I'll be your shelter. Lonely nights, lonely nights under the weather, cold like December. It doesn't have to be like that. Let go of pressure, no fear. I'll be the getaway island. The trip you need is right here. White sheets, lipstick, stain body. I could paint a picture, darling. Don't need no brushes, colors. Put my hands on you, I'm on it. I could make it right. I could make it right for you. Stay with me tonight. I could make it right. I could make it right for you. Lonely nights, lonely nights, losing all patience. Time for vacation. Lonely nights, lonely nights.
Hey, watch how she goes back into this.
Lead me back to you. Miss the way you move. It doesn't have to be like that.
Anyway, you're good.
Pressure,
Hey, that's my style of music, SB. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That was smooth. I see what you do too. I noticed in several of these songs, it's been a lot of drums and a lot of electronics, like electric guitar,
Has to be.
electronic. Like I don't know what you would call the notes. I'm not skilled or versed in those in the diction in that community, but I see the type of beats and whatnot that you handle quite a bit. I understand the feel for it. This is good, man. I like that.
I'm a big fan that music is or a big proponent of the fact that like music is energy. And so when it comes to stuff that I like to listen to and stuff that I like to create, I think it just has to be disruptive. I don't care how simple or complex it is. It has to immediately evoke an energy to take you on a trip. So I wanted to select songs tonight that just you could feel through the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and shout out to you. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Of all the people that I've had up here on this platform, and the angle that I always had for Sense and Sounds, I think you have displayed what I was expecting the most, and explaining the relation between the vibe and the musical. I guess since you're an engineer, you understand the vibe that it's presenting and the vibe of the cologne. You know what I'm saying? How the instruments being used in the music correlate to the notes and the chords that are being used in the perfume. I mean, I appreciate you for this, man. This is great, man.
Hey, listen, for y'all out there in the chat, and I appreciate that, by the way, Gems, really appreciate the kind words. If that song was playing and Baranda was in the air, if nothing happened after that, it's you.
I ain't gonna lie. When I heard that song, I was like, okay, I remember Pardon. All right, maybe I need to go back and keep my nose on Baranda a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, every once in a while, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, that feel, that vibe is one that when you're in a car with the person that you want to make your matching pajamas, you know what I'm saying? This is one that you can vibe out to at night on that long road.
I'm telling you, I don't like to advocate that Sense do all the work, but let me tell you, man, to me, with my personal experience, if you got some great music and the sonics are just all over the place and the vibe is right, you got the low bass and everything, and Baranda is in the air, it just screams that. So in my opinion, if nothing happens in that setup, you drop the ball somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I mean? Or you know, this is 2026. She could just not be that into you and using you for a free meal. So be careful. All right.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Gems. She would not even be at the crib if I got a hint that was the case. You don't make it to the crib for any reason,
man. We don't know until they're at the crib, not your crib, their crib.
Their crib.
That's the problem.
I like that. Hey, and praise God, I've been with my wife for 16 years. I'm out the game. But that's what the game would have looked like if I went back.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's wild, man. You know, it's different out there, man. You got it when you could, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's one part I miss about being a kid is like that was really big in my circles. Is like we used to all my guy friends, we used to love meeting up and being like, hey, I'm taking such and such out tonight. Or maybe they would be in the mix and then you'd split off and go do your own thing. You'd have it set up to where you're doing a function and then you duck off and then meeting back up with your boys later and being like, well, how'd it go? I used to love putting the whole sequence together for that. That used to be a lot of fun. So
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Those are the days.
Good, man. Hey, we gonna get to it, man. But look, it is 7 o'clock, y'all. We have held this man here. We have held him hostage long enough on the show, man. It has been a great conversation, a great vibe, man. I hate that I hadn't had you on before. You know, aside from my investigations and whatnot, you know, because I got to do research on everybody that I have on the channel for the most part, right? But man, it has been a long time coming. I've been saying that to the last couple of people that I've had on the show, from you to Aromas to my guy Kirk Elliott and whatnot. it's been a long time coming for sure. For sure.
I'm honored that you had me. I really appreciate your perspective on perfumery. Again, I think it's quite simple. Like what I observe that you do is you just show people that there's more to it that you can experience, and you walk people down that path, and I think that's awesome. I think people need to realize in perfumery you have more options, you have different levels of experience, and not for nothing, put the information out there and let people gravitate to what parts of it that excite them. And hey, praise God, if they get excited about something and take that and go have a crazy experience, that is amazing. And everybody in the chat, I can tell by the feedback that like y'all do that. We love what fragrances can do, and it's just one piece to the puzzle, but man, it unlocks a world of discovery and possibility for your everyday life. So I definitely see that in your journey. I love the different pockets you go into with the community. I love that you're, community first in terms of advocating for just a big family and letting people connect where they connect. And I'm honored that you allowed me to have so much emphasis on this show.
Man, I'm telling you, real talk, SB. My whole thing is about fragrance community doesn't need chiefs. All right. We don't need chiefs necessarily. We need chieftains, right? And by that, I mean, a person could lose their hair, lose their life, lose their mind trying to cover all the different aspects to fragrances, right?
Sure.
So why on your own? Why not just bring in and form a community of people that see the different aspects of it, and y'all all just enjoy your own lanes? You know what I'm saying? Walt with what he does. I mean, you with the vintage and everything, with what you do well, dude, just, my whole thing is just about highlighting and being able to join in. I'm okay with just joining in. I can't, hell, I find enough time. I find it hard enough trying to find time to do my own scents and sounds, you know what I'm saying? Let alone talk about everything else that fragrance relates to. But I know it's a lot out there. And I see so many people such as yourself, such as Kicks, such as Dutch, Will, everybody, you know what I'm saying? And how they're able to relate it to their own journey, to other aspects of life. And it's just like, I don't want to do this on my own. I can't do it, you know what I'm saying? But other people do it so well and they have time. So I just want to, hell, here and there be a part of it. But really, I want to hear about it. So if I'm watching you, I consider you part of my community, part of my cul-de-sac. You know what I'm saying? And the more we interact, hell, I'd love to get you on there with whoever watches me. If they don't watch it or they don't understand or they don't know the information that you're providing, I'd love for them to get in touch with you and your channel and everything else, man. Because if it intrigues me, I can't understand why, if you follow me, it don't intrigue you.
And the best part about, like, one of the best parts about the community is, like, if you guys don't have this, find this. My fragrance journey would be half as awesome if I didn't have people to share it with. And and I don't just mean share it like one-sided, this is what SB does. I mean hearing, this is what I do, let me hear what you do, and let's talk about it. That exchange of experience, to me, is the lifeblood of a great fragrance community. And that's what I'm trying to build, the exchanging of experience, so that we can have more experience and get more to our journey. So I'm just a big fan of that, bro. And I know you are too.
Yeah, man. I don't love seeing people's growth. I love seeing people do what they're good at and what they love to do, man. Because they'll be excited. It excites me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I say, hey, we all look a little weird doing it. You know what I'm saying? Collecting fragrances is weird.
Oh, this is the weirdest hobby ever. This is the weirdest hobby ever. But, thank God I have it, because at my age, to be able to not have to go outside to get this much experience is a blessing, dude.
I'm telling you.
I am a family man. I got 2 kids, a wife. I run like 5 different businesses. Man, a hobby like fragrance doesn't come around too often. you know, so I just feel privileged to be able to have something at my age that's so practical to my life. It's not inconvenient at all to be in fragrance. So I hope y'all experience that same thing. And man, just know, like, as you get older, a lot of stuff you do when you were younger, you can't do anymore. It's not practical to where your season of life is. You might wish you could go back out into the park and play some basketball or be a part of a community club. Hey, life's happening, bro. And so the fact that we get this much experience sitting in our drawers at home, you know what I'm saying, is amazing.
Yeah, man. And you know, this is perfect, man. This is a perfect tie into what we got going on next weekend. I know you won't be able to make it, but you know, we are having the first Fragrance family reunion here in Dallas, Texas. We got some people in the chat, some people from coming into town. We're just gonna do a big weekend of kicking it, literally just kicking it. All right. And I'm gonna be sharing that on IG. Well, I'm gonna do a video and share it. But yeah, man, you know, this is what it's always been about for me. Getting to know people, getting to meet people, and then being able to spend time outside, you know.
Yeah.
You know, all the content in the world doesn't relate to the experience and the connections that you make when you're in person with people, you know.
Not at all.
And that's what I look for.
100%.
I tell you, all the shows that we did, all the episodes meant so much less than when I actually got to meet Terrence, who came out to see me when my aunt died, or my cousin. It was nothing when I got to travel to Florida to go meet up with Uncle Dutch, Will, and Jason in the flesh.
Scent
It was
Explorer.
nothing like it. It was nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it's always been about for me, man. And if we get to spend time on the internet, it's just a plus. It's just multiple cherries on top. But yeah, man, we gonna get it together. But hey, SB, again, man, appreciate you for coming out. There is more to come. Y'all do not think that it stops here. You know, the funny thing is, I'm in my community building. I'm trying to find where everybody has a part to do with Sips and Sniffs, because everybody has a part to do with Sips and Sniffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody has a role in this, whether you're in the chat, whether you're on the camera. Hell, if you just comment, you know, and SB, we've been talking, and we are definitely going to have some things to do, man.
Appreciate you.
I'm really looking forward to it, brother.
I had a blast.
But hey, anything you want to say to the community, to the group, to the chat, to anybody that may catch this? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, the fragrance community, if you go on YouTube and you start searching stuff, has a lot to offer you. But I want to challenge you that behind those curtains is smaller communities that are showing you things more than just a certain level of experience. Fragrances are awesome to me, and I like to show all the reasons why. So my channel is like getting secret security footage to a random dude going through a fragrance journey. And there's a lot of people like that, where you just get a window into what they got going on. And sometimes you don't even know how the stuff affects you until you've gone through a journey with something, and then you start seeing the value kind of illuminate. So take your time with the fragrance community. Try not to be selfish and self-serving in it, and just see it for what it is and observe and collect the data. And eventually you'll find where you fit and the people you connect with. And then when that happens, it's like, thank God I went through all this to get to this. And so, take your time in the community, slow down a little bit, enjoy the day, enjoy the people. Don't just see people as a means to an end, but see them as people, and never assume what you could learn from somebody. And man, you've got a great journey ahead of you. Hopefully what you guys see from my channel is just gratitude. I'm thankful to have fragrance in my life. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful for the people in the community and what I've gotten out of fragrance. And hopefully I can contribute something back.
Yes, most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. Great words to wrap things up with. My guy, I know you're busy. Do you have a moment to wait while I close out?
Sure, yeah.
All right. I will be right back. Appreciate you, man. My bad. Appreciate
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right there. All right, y'all, man. Hey, shout out to SB, man, for a great interview, man. Great conversation per usual. But this was different from so many other ones. All right. But Takar, all right. I will be going live. We'll have multiple lives where we'll be able to show everybody what's going on, because it's going to be, I think several of them are getting here on Thursday, but we're going to be doing stuff Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So yes, we will be live. I don't know if it's going to be a stream like this, but we will have phones up and I will have some recording, and yes, you will see what was going on. All right. For sure. We will definitely give y'all ample time to pop in and let us know what you think and whatnot. You're going to get to see some faces that you only see in the chat. You're going to be able to put some faces, some bodies with it. All right. And it's going to be a great time. But yeah, man. Yeah, this is what it's about, man. Building community, one connection at a time, one person at a time. Much love to what he said as well. Come into the community wanting to learn something. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily wanting to use people, but want to learn something, want to find out something about people, the fragrance, whoever. But at the same time, make yourself open. I guess, my statement is use to be used. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's what I was taught, to do. But definitely want to come in with your eyes open and with no opinions. Just come in and just be pure in this. You know what I'm saying? Be like water. All right. Be like water. Just go with it. But with all that being said, man, hey, we will be live again tomorrow. I hope y'all come to the First Church of Fragrance. All right. Where we will be discussing a matter, man, that needs to be addressed for real. All right. Pastor Jim's will be in. So y'all make sure you're there. All right. All right. And with that being said, y'all, hey, appreciate y'all for coming out, man. Always a blessing to have y'all in the building, in the chat, on the live, man. Always a good time. Even though Jason came in late, we need to dock his pay for how much we getting? Okay, what is 10% of nothing? Okay, all right. We'll dock him in another way. But anyway, all right, because he knows he was supposed to come in with the trolling much earlier. All right. It's not quite a troll if it takes you an hour and a half to get in here. But anyway, man, y'all have a blessed evening. All right. And with all that being said, let every sip be a sip of inspiration and every sniff lead to a new discovery. All right. Y'all be easy until tomorrow. Oh, yeah, it is Mother's Day. So expect a later than usual live. But happy Mother's Day to y'all. Much love. Y'all be easy. All right.